I'm a legend. I'm one with the crew that's making the moves. Get out of the way, we coming through. We got this, never stopping, and we won't lose. No, we can't lose. Yeah.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from. Welcome to Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Season 18, and welcome into 2024. We haven't been here for, well, nearly a month. We've been away for a couple of weeks, about half a month. I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday period, whatever you celebrated, and a great new year as well. Hope everyone was safe and hope everyone had a fantastic time. But here tonight is the return of Split 2. Here for the V8 Veterans. I am, of course, your commentator, Hamish Munro, as always, bringing you the action as we see fit here tonight. It's been two almost polar opposite rounds, the first two rounds of Season 18. The first round, filled with a bit of carnage, filled with a bit of controversy. Second round, a little bit of carnage, kind of our normal amount that we would normally have, and no safety cars. But will we get the blend of both tonight, or will we see the same of more of one than the other? Oh, great to have you in here, Stacey, from Buffalo. Great to have you. Hope it's not too cold for you this time of year out there, but great to have everyone in here. Great to have everyone watching as well. Let's bring up our track map here tonight, and we'll suss up where we are racing, because we are starting this year, and please pardon the pun, I realized that after I wrote the description. We're starting off with a bang out at Okayama Circuit for 2024, based in Japan. We can see all the other great cities that are around this area in Japan, the land of the rising sun, a country that I hope to travel to one day in the future. But we'll just trickle our way on down now so we can check out this beautiful little circuit here out at Okayama. We can see it here. Opened 18th of November 1990. It is 11 corners. And I tell you what, it does not feel like that. It feels like there's about 20 million of them after you've done so many laps in a row around here. But we're going to be starting out on the main straight here tonight, heading into first corner, then up through Williams in 2, and then the Mosses, and then up through Atwood at 4. These are going to be some of our main overtaking opportunities here tonight. Turn 1 pretty much under brakes. Up at turn 4, you can get it done, but it's realistically out of the exit, and then down towards turn 5 at the hairpin. You can get it done at the hairpin under brakes, but it is a very, very big pucker moment through there. Revolver, this could be one of our big danger zones. Turn 6, you run wide through 5, and then you suddenly got 2 cars running through there side by side. All hell could break loose. Turn 7 out at Piper, another one of the danger zones. Cars can come through, they can run wide very easily out to the right hand side of the track and smack bang into the wall. If they don't hold brakes, that car's just going to come back on track, and it's almost a blind corner when you come around there, so it could be a little bit of danger. Then we come up through the Cascades and then into Redman out at turn 8. Oh, this corner here, another good little overtaking opportunity, but you're better off just kind of hooking in behind and waiting off the exit of 9 to hopefully take advantage of someone's improper exit out at Hobbs. Then we come through Mike Knight corner at 10 and then down through the final corner at 11. And that's a quick run through of this circuit. 11 turns, it's a clockwise direction. Out at Mimasuka, Japan, 3.7 Ks or 2.3 miles for those who measure in those types of distances, I guess we could say. But hello to everyone who is already watching. Hello to everyone in the chat already. John Gallen, Pure Wax, Stacey Boyd, Jason's in there. Gary Buckland as well. Great to have you all here. Shane Patterson, Will Munro, Dave Baldock as well. Great to have you all here in the chat here tonight. But yeah, that is our track splash and our map for tonight. That's where we're going to be trickling around. So it's really going to be up to these drivers to have used their brake properly and either had some time away from the car to reset their heads, or to kind of have a bit of practice and get a little bit more consistent in that sort of week's break that we've had, or 2 weeks break realistically that we've had between racing. So hopefully everyone's had a good time. We have got some returns back into the series now. Todd Martin, Dave Arney, these guys are now back ready to have a crack here at Split 2 here tonight. We're just finishing up the lone qualifying session, then we can get into our warm-up. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting night of racing. Hopefully this is a good track for it. Gary Buchan saying happy birthday to our team manager, Michael Quain, or happy birthday to Michael Quain. And yeah, as I said, happy New Year to everyone as well. Hope you guys all had a safe break and a happy break as well. My break was pretty good. Ended up not having to go to 2 different family Christmases on Christmas Day. I got to stay home in the morning, and then I also, and then I only had to go out once during the day. So that was kind of a welcome surprise. Unfortunate that I didn't get to see half my family, but it was still a good day regardless. And then New Year's was spent on Discord with my mates playing some games, which was a good time. So if you guys had a good time at New Year's, or you guys had a good time at Christmas, or any other holiday you celebrated, whether it's Hanukkah or anything else like that, let us know in the chat how your break was, how your holiday was, if you had a good time as well, and how excited you are for the vets to be back. We've already had 2 great races this week with Split 1 and Split 3 respectively. It's going to be a very, very interesting one. John saying ran out of excuses for being late. I suppose you have. He also, John actually did message me to confirm that I was actually broadcasting tonight, so he was on the ball. Be sure to as well, everyone, if you haven't already, please hit that like, subscribe, and the bell icon as well, so you are notified anytime we go racing here on the V8 Veterans YouTube channel. Any piece of engagement we can get would be incredible for us. You know, getting likes on the streams, watching the streams through, getting into the chat, getting into the comments when the streams are done as well. It's just going to help grow the channel. It's going to help grow the series as well, and push the series to more eyes to hopefully entice more people to either want to come and watch or to come racing. And that's what we want. We want to be able to get this series as big as possible. It's already the biggest supercar series in Australia in terms of the amount of members that it has. But it'd just be great to continue growing it and to continue getting it better and better. So we've got about a minute left of lone qualifying. We can then run into our warm-up, then into our grid, and then we can get ready to go racing here tonight for the first time in 2024 for Split 2. Let me know what you thought of this track as well. If you raced this past week here in Vets, or if you've raced here previously, what do you think about it? Personally, I think it's all right. I think it's a pretty good track. Don't know how the supercars are going to go. Be very, very interesting to see. Yes, you want to ask about Peanut Butter Boy. So Gary Buckland is known as Peanut Butter Cup Boy. For some reason, people are under the belief that he hoards peanut butter cups in the boot of his supercar, and that's what makes him go fast. And when he's got a heap of pace and he's up the very front, they reckon then he's kind of shooting them out a little bit out the boot. Yeah, I mean it's a big waiting list. Hopefully we can. In future, I mean, I think realistically by the end of this year, there probably will be a 4th split in Vets, which obviously this isn't the space to talk about that. The podcast is the space to talk about that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it'll be good to get that 4th split in and get some more people in here. PBB9, I mean, maybe it was. Maybe that's what it's been modified to. I don't know. I haven't been let know. Yeah, I think it's a good flowing track. I think it suits. Shane Patterson saying it's a slippery shite hole. Yeah, a little bit. I think it suits probably more production cars than supercars, I think. I think the TCRs, the MX-5s probably do a little bit better around here, especially open wheelers as well, like the F3 or the F4 probably do a bit better. But regardless, we can now get into our first lot of warm-up for the new year, of course. So a couple of cars are already out on track. Troy Sipple, he was one of the earliest to want to hop out there and have a bit of a crack at a lap here in this qualifying session, just to get the car up to temp, get himself rearing and ready to go. Is it going to show his car on screen? Yes, it is. Very good. That's what we want. Actually, that's the better one. There we go. Peanut Butter Bully. maybe he is. But yeah, Sipple out on track. A couple other guys out there as well. Mike Yo out on track. Shadow Racing had an unfortunate end to his round 1, blowing an engine out at Phillip Island. Not what you want to see, but he's back out there to have a crack here tonight. Let's get that volume of the cars up just a little bit. It's a little bit too quiet for my liking. Let's see if we can fix that. There we go. That's a bit louder now, a bit better. Yeah, Mike Yo, unfortunate end to his round 1 out at Phillip Island last month, but he'll be hoping to have a good performance here in 2024, starting off here for round 3. Craig Healy out on track as well. East West Racing, GMK Logistics. What can he do here tonight? He's had some good performances in the past, but been kind of sitting mid-pack at the moment this season. Really going to see where he can rise to here tonight. Robert Crow, first outing in the Mustang for a fair while for this bloke. The last time he raced this car was out in an East Coast race, which was actually his last East Coast race that he ran. which was in November of last year. So been a little bit of a stint between drinks for him and that Mustang, but he's having a crack here tonight in that car. We'll have to see how he goes out there at this Okayama circuit. John Gallen, who's in the chat, out on track as well, Pacific Esports Racing, trying to get his Commodore around this track, trying to get acclimatized as well. Will Munro out on track too. He's in the chat as well here tonight. We'll see what he can do, if he can stay out of trouble, try and get a good performance out of him. He's had a pretty good qualifying session, and we'll see where he lines up on the grid in just a moment's time once this warm-up has finished up. Jason Dunn out on track too. What can he do here tonight? Sean Cullen out there. Just a heap of cars, heap of drivers having a good old crack. Mark Houghton, a little bit of lock-up through there, but just doing what he can to just get that car into a good finishing position. He struggled the first couple of weeks. At the start of the season that you'd want, he'd just be hoping to make up some spots and to get back into the rhythm of things. I mean, he was in the top 8 last season. Shane Randall, top 10 in the championship at the moment. He's had a good run so far. We'll have to see how he goes here tonight as well for Simrig's Infinity Motorsport. And then Todd Duggan, well, he's had a bit of an up and down start to this season. It'd be good to see him get back into form, get back into championship winning form, and really putting a fight up to the top 2 in this series at the moment. The top 2 being Mark Poynton and Matthew Scholes. Those guys are trading blows more than a main event fight on pay-per-view. And, well, we're in the 3rd round now, and we'll have to see how they can handle it, if they can go all the way to round 10 or if it's going to end up a little bit early for them. But Toddy, I mean, he's got some pace on his day. Just has to try and keep that car as clean as possible. We've seen him have some absolutely magic performances in the past. We've also seen him make some pretty poor mistakes and just struggle at times. But, you know, I've mentioned the 100% drivers. He's one of those drivers that on his day, he is better than anyone else in the field. Just has to get that focus in on him, and he will win another championship here in Split 2. It's been great to have having the big numbers. It is a fantastic looking car, I will admit. I was waiting for an update for those Nova Sim Sports cars last season, and I think this pink really does suit it, and I think it's a great addition to this car. And I think the only thing I would change is have the team logo match the colours of the car, just so it blends in a little bit better. But apart from that, these are absolutely gorgeous. Marty Hansen out on track as he comes through the final corner. We'll see what he can do here tonight. We have got about 45 seconds of this warm-up session to go to see who is going to have the jump off the start of this race here tonight. Put your predictions in, who you think's going to win, who you think's going to do well, and who you think may crash and burn early on or later in the race. Be interested to know your opinions. I'm excited to see how this race goes. Oh, mate, it looks phenomenal. It's a great car. Like, it's one of my favorites on track. Even the last iteration of that car looked fantastic as well. I was watching a couple of older broadcasts because I'm good friends with Peter Gretton, who used to do Split 2. And honestly, from the opinion of a person who prefers liveries that look more like race cars than art cars, this current generation of Vets liveries looks absolutely fantastic. It looks $1 million. Looks like, you know, we're ready to go racing and not just out at a skid show. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But regardless, we are going to get ready to show our grid for tonight's race and to get ready to go racing as well. Let's bring it up on screen for you. So starting out of pole position, Mark Poynton with a massive, impressive time of 1 minute 28.904. The privateer still leading from the front. Robert Crow, well, what a start to 2024 he's had. Starting out of P2 for Simrig's Infinity Motorsport. He'll line up alongside Poynton. Sheriffs will then start P3 here tonight, just beside Nova Sim Sports' Matty Parker out of P4. Mark Houghton will then start at a P6 for Accelerate Sim Racing, ahead of Old Mate and Sons Gary Buckland, also are currently known as PBB9 out of P6. Peter Latham will start at a P7 for Shadow Racing here tonight, with Ed Fox starting out of P8 for Player One Racing. Stephen Greck will then start in behind them out of P9. Matty Scholes, the current man who's fighting point for that championship, starts out of P10 for 801 Sim Racing here tonight. And then just outside the top 10, we have Toddy Duggan out of P11, just next to the Split 3 champion of last season, Wayne Shepherd, out of P12. P13 going to Darren Goosey here tonight for Old Mate and Sons, starting just beside Peter Vermey for IMLT out of P14. Shane Randall will then make up the top 15 for Simrig's Infinity Motorsport here tonight. Damon Fisher will then start at a P16 ahead of Hypersonic Racing's Jason DiBattito. What a race he had last time out. Hopefully he can have a better start than where his qualifying has been here tonight. Will Munro, phenomenal qualifying from him to start at a P18 ahead of Hypersonic Racing's Glenn Corbett at a P19, with Richard Barella from WKMP Sim Sports making up the top 20. Michael Yeo will then start at a P21 ahead of the returning Dave Arney out of P22 for Pacific Esports Racing. Great to see Dave back out on track, with Matty McMillan starting in behind them out of P23. Matty Stores will then start at a P24 for East West Racing GMK Logistics ahead of a Quantum Peaks Performance double of Troy Sipple and Todd Martin in P25 and P26 respectively. Scotty Weston will then start out of John Gullen will start at a P27 for Pacific Esports Racing, just alongside Scotty Weston at a P28, with Sean Cullen starting at a P29 in behind them for Team Go Slow Racing. Craig Healy will then make up our top 30 here tonight for East West Racing GMK Logistics, with Lorne McKee starting at a P31, just alongside Brett Taylor for VMM Esports at a P32. Marty Hansel will then start at a P33 alongside Jason Dunn in 34th, with Scotty Barton unable to set a lap time here tonight in P35. Brian Minogue will be beside him, but it's up to him whether he can get to the start and get racing here tonight. Greg Favell, Anthony Visma, Michael Hayes, our race control for tonight's race. So let's get our grid all the way back up. Let's get our screen empty, and let's get ready to go racing here out at Okayama. About 20 seconds to green. We are back for 2024. Who can get the jump off the start nice and early? And who can have the run through turn one? It's going to be up to these guys to get this perfected. Should be lights out shortly. Revs are rising. Let's see how they go. And we are go for 2024. Bit of a box start there from Poynton. Crow started well. So did Parker, who's looking to get it up into P1 already by the inside of turn one. Looking pretty good so far. Parker leads them through to Crow. And then back to Buckland in P3. Houghton had a great start as well in behind them. Looking pretty neat and tidy so far in behind. Not too many incidents, I do believe. Just a couple of changing positions for these drivers. Let's see how they go through turn four. Nice and tidy so far. They look good. Parker leads them now down the back straight. Such a long way to go. Buckland wants to get this done on Crow, but Houghton's in there looking, peeking that nose. Buckland up the inside into 5. Beautiful move. Houghton wants to follow him here. How are we going to go through this next corner? Oh, a bit of a lock up there from Crow. Oh, they've come to get a Crosby turned round. And what did I say in the pre-race wind-up? There's already been a car off, and there's another 2 there. I believe it might be Duggan and Latham spun round at the same spot. Turn 6 has already claimed a couple of victims. It was a fantastic pass by Buckland that we saw. Unfortunately for Latham and Duggan, these boys are now back down the order a fair bit. Let's see if we can get the replay up of that one. If I can find it, of course. Hopefully I can. I think this might have been it here. Yeah, you see here. Oh, just a little bit of overlap. Not much room for Houghton to go. And then this was the aftermath of Duggan just clipping that AstroTurf, and Latham was just a sitting duck and nowhere to go. Unfortunate for him. But we keep on racing, of course. Back up the front now. Matty Parker leading it to Gary Buckland, pointing into P3. How are we going to go down here to start lap number 2? Let's get our names fixed up there. I had some complaints about the 3 letters, so we'll put it on to first letter of the first name and then full last names. But lap 2 now, 41. Only 150 Ks here tonight, as I mentioned, so this one's going to go by very, very quickly if we get no safety cars. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Buckland off the AstroTurf. Looks pretty good, though, in the background. How's he going? Trying to chase down Parker up ahead. Just trying to get that gap as closed as possible. Behind, no threat at the moment from Poynton, but we know that he is a true threat out there. as they come through 7. Looking pretty good at the moment. Buckland really just gained a little bit of time through there. I'll tell you what, the train of cars is absolutely astonishing. It's all the way down pretty much. I think till about Troy Sipple, but I even think he's part of this train. He is indeed. It goes even further than P19, so there's a fair whack of cars. I think it's probably all the way down to Healy, although Crow's still in behind him. Stoyle's having a little bit of connection problems, but he's still out there. But he is blinking just a little bit. But back up the front now. Parker to Buckland to Poynton to Houghton to Sheriffs. That's the top 5. Skulls, Fox, Grek, Goosey, Dibatito. That's the top 10. So we'll have to see here how these guys go on their run throughout the rest of this race. On top of pure wax entry from Nova Sim Sports, Matty Parker. His first outing for the season in the Mustang. 199 driver, leading from the front at the moment. Great start in this race. Just put it up the front nice and early. That's what you want from your drivers. You want them to be just able to do this. Inside now, the suspension cam. Get a good look at those hot pink wheels and a good look at the suspension as well. See that movement on it as we come through this section. The reason I'm going to stick on this is for the next corner. This is now going to be on the outside of the circuit. You'll be able to see the amount of lateral movement this wheel gets through this section. Just peeking in behind is Buckland. He is just trying to stay as close as possible. But Parker, cool, calm and collected as always. And you can tell that he is ready for this. So come around to start lap 4 of 41. Good to see that that Dave, the traffic reporter, out in his chopper can get the coverage. So we just watch them trickle on through. Let's see if we got any other little battles happening in behind. Tito, he's currently running P10. He's had a good start. He's up 7 positions. Biggest mover in this race so far. There's 2 of them. Scotty Barton, he, I believe, is currently up 9 or 10 positions. Let's just get a proper look at it. He's up 9. And then Lorne McKee, what a start he's had. He's up 11 positions so far in this race. Great to see. And a good run so far. The compulsory pit stop period has opened as well now that we are past the end of lap 2. Oh, what a move by McKee there down the inside, but Sybil trying to come back at him here into this section. Some great racing from these guys, leaving plenty of racing room. That's what we want to see. We do not want to have any comings together here tonight. If we can avoid it, we want that to happen. In fact, McKee's actually getting another spot, so someone has dropped down the order. It may have been Peter Latham gone off track, though that was lap 1 still, so. But Matty Scholes, what a race he's had so far, up 4 positions already, well inside the top 10 and just trying to chase down Mark Point. That's all he's got to do, just chase him down. Hey, 4 old mates in the top is looking pretty good so far. Matty Scholes, new livery on that car for this season. That's a good looking car, actually. I like that. Bit of a Mercedes AMG look about it, in my opinion. I think it looks good. Looks very nice and tough. Got a little bit of a spec map on it as well, so the silver is nice and shiny. That's a good looking car. He's trying to chase down Ed Fox. Oh, sorry, Daniel Sheriff's Ed Fox in behind. Not quite close enough to get it done under brakes in the 605 machine. And what an impressive run it's been so far for Scholes. I mean, he's just done so well this season. He got the win last time out. He had to come and have a chat to me when he's finished on the podium. But he's had a good run so far. 100% rate of finishing on the podium this season. And that's why he is in contention for this championship. Not quite close enough to get it past. Sheriff's just ahead of him right now, and Sheriff's might be holding him up a little bit as well as Fox in behind. Oh, wants it down the inside. No, he's coming in. So Skull's committing to the early stop right now and committing to perhaps a longer stint later in the race. So he comes into the pits. Where's he going to end up when he comes out? Let's see how long this stop is for him. Hopefully not too long. Let's see it count up for him here in the lane. We've also got another car in the pits as well and behind. I believe that's Scotty Barton. Robert Crow is also in. Barton and Skulls in their pit box, though. This could be a long one for him. He could be going for the full fill. He hasn't. 18.9 seconds. Barton's still in. Crow just makes it to his box. Get that car fixed up. That was a long stop from Barton. He's still going. Could be going all the way. Skulls are 18.9 seconds. That's just going to give him a little splash. Just to get further than everybody else, put him on that alternate strategy. Good to see these guys testing that and just, you know, getting into the mindset of just trying new things just to get somewhat of an advantage over any of their opponents. It's great to see. Speaking of the rivals, though, Poynton, he's the man that leads this championship so far. Won the first round, finished on the podium last time out. What can he do here tonight? He's already up on the back of Buckland to put the pressure on him. Could we, you know, be getting a sense of things to come this season? Could it be Matty Parker, Mark Poynton, Matty Skulls fighting it out for this championship? Or will the likes of Buckland or Houghton or even Grech get up there later on throughout this season? I mean, of course, after this round, we've got 7 to go. It's going to be up to these guys to really put the pressure on them. It's been a perfect start so far from Poynton and Skulls as well. Parker, I believe, missed the first round, so he's kind of already having a fight back. You know, he can't really have a poor round now. He needs that first round to be his drop round. So he just needs to get some consistent, clean finishes throughout the rest of this season. So he's saying Flappy and Gaz will have a say. Yeah, and I think, you know, they would like to, seeing that they both finished in the top 8 last season. I believe they did. I know Grech did and Buckland. Yeah, they both finished in the top 8 last season. They were in that championship fight to the very last round. But, I mean, Poynton, Skulls, and Parker have been on another level this season. I mean, we saw it last time out with Parker. And then with Poynton and Skulls, the last 2 rounds. Like, all 3 of them have just been on another level. And they're already bringing the fight to this championship this season. They're already putting their hopes up to get that top 3 spot and get into split 1 for next season. Buckland could definitely be up there. He's a big contender for sure. You know, he only got his first win last season, so he may still have a ways to go to be as dominant as these guys. But he definitely has the pace, and he's definitely someone who we should keep an eye on, possibly for a top 5 in the championship come the season end. Let's check out the train of cars. P10 back, Randall leading this. I believe Shepo's actually let him go. Doesn't want to hold him up. He knows that Shane's got a little bit of pace on him. Look at that train in behind. Just a heap of cars involved in this. It's been a good start to this race for these boys. Oh, Randall getting a little bit of a blip. But a good start to this race for these boys. Simmons Infinity Motorsport. They had all 4 cars starting out of the top 20. First time that's happened this season. Unfortunate for Robbie to be involved in that incident on lap 1. But I think the other 3 will be hoping just to kind of make some spots and just get some good finishes out of them. That's all they'll be wanting at the moment. Just some clean and consistent finishes. That's what they need. Come on round. Turn number 5. Great to have Matty in here. Great to have you here. Watching the action out of Okayama. Come on through turn 7, up underneath the Enki sign. Tell you what, Dibatito, he's had an impressive run so far. 8 positions gained in this race. Had a great run out at Mosport, and he'll be looking to continue that on throughout the rest of this season. He's got Goosey, Grech, and Fox just ahead of him here. And the top 5 just a little bit further up the road. Gary's saying he's got a new beast of a PC. Well then, maybe that's what's found you a little bit more pace here tonight. Who knows? You know, that fixed refresh rate, or the maybe a little bit more frames, but you got some good speed at the moment here, Gaz. Doing pretty well. Fastest laps of this race so far. Let's check it out. Fastest lap down the mark point out of P3, 129.525. This is quickest time so far. Buckland, as a comparison, 129.67. Matty Parker, 129.65. So a little bit of time between them. They're all kind of lapping about the same pace. Houghton P4, 129.99 of those been averaging 30s. So these guys have just got a little bit of pace over the rest of the field, and that's why they've broken away so far from P4 onwards. But we can still see Houghton in the background. All he's going to do is keep it clean and hope that those top three have a bit of a bingle. Daniel saying my predictions for the championship: Parker first, Greg second, Buckland third. Interesting. Very interesting prediction. I'm still under the impression that it's going to be Buckland, Poynton, and Scholes, P1, 2, 3. Any order for that top three. I'm not going to pick who is going to win the championship at this point. It's pretty hard to predict when all three of them are about as dominant as each other so far. I think we could see the likes of Houghton, Buckland, or Grec get into the top 5. Could even see an outsider get in the top 5, like a Randall or even a Goosey could get up there. Remember, Goosey's finished in the top 3 in the championship before. He could very well be that dark horse to get into a top 5 or even a top 3. Dibatito could get up there. Fox could get up there. If Duggan can get some more consistent finishes, or if Sipple can find some pace, those guys are still contenders. So can't really count anyone out so far. I think the front runners for this top 3 should very well be Parker, Scholes, and Poynton at this point. But don't count out a Goosey or a Grec or a Fox or someone like that, because they're all going to be within contention come the end of this season. It is also they're going to depend on the availability of the drivers, whether they can make it every single week, or whether they can put a consistent finish every single week. That is what is going to be the contributing factor to that. So, so apparently Gary's new P was gifted to him by Santa, according to the chat. Matty Parker, though, leads the way as we come around to start lap 11. We're already at lap 11. We should be watching these guys getting ready to come in pretty soon. I would say between 14 and 18 is when the pit stops are likely going to happen for the majority of this field. Already seen some cars come in that may be due to damage, or just a bit of an earlier strategy call. But we're already seeing the leader come up to the back of the cars that have come in. That being, I believe, Matty Stoyles just up the road here from the leader. It is Matty Stoyles just up the road from Matty Parker. This race is far from over. I'm not really surprised that we haven't really seen many on-track ifs so far, because it is early on, it is a tight track, it is hard to pass. This, though, is a nice little tight and enticing battle happening at the moment. Sheppo, Verme, Munro. Verme in a bit of a sandwich at the moment between these two Simrings cars. Be hoping to get this move done on Shep. But, Shep's a talented operator, split 3 champion. He's got some pace, but the car into P12 here tonight on the line. So we know he's got some pace about him. He's got to keep it nice and clean. As mentioned previously, the new livery on that car for Verme, new team for him as well. Not a part, as it seems, of the WKMP family anymore, at least at this stage, although I could be corrected in the chat. If anyone is out there from WKMP, you can let me know what the go is with 1MLT, as Shane Randall comes into the lane for the first time here tonight. Early stop for him, lap 12 of 41. So we come on through to start, lap 11 for him, lap 12 for the rest of the field, because the leader has already crossed the line. Speaking of the leader, here he is. And I can tell you what, those pink wheels, they just do something. Where's Toddy? Toddy Duggan is currently trying to make his way back. Back in currently P29, 18 spots down from where he started. Has not been through the lane yet, so he is still carrying some damage off that lap 1 incident. You'll be just trying to come back, trying to get back into this fight. No Paul Hayes this week for that team, so it's just Matty and Todd having a bit of a run so far. But yeah, he'll just be trying to get that car to its pit stop period and get it in, get that fast repair done, get back out on track and cut some laps. Let's see, what other battles have we got on track? Ahead of Troy Sickett and a bit behind Johnny Gallen. He's just trying to get up in behind him here. Will asking the question, will Gamble stay with WKMP or will he swim over the Fishy? Oh, I don't know. I haven't really heard anything about that. I would say if he was going to change to Fishy, he would have done it before he came back. You know, even when I spoke to him, he likes the WKMP environment, which is why he stayed with them in his current format. I assume you mean Toddy will come back in this race. I'm sure he will. I mean, he's got some pace about him. He's a former champion in Split 2. Again, he's just got to get back up to that, you know, that ferocity that he had and that cleanliness that he had when he won that championship. You know, he was one of the best cars on track the season that he won for a reason. Okay, on the Discord, I'll have to have a look after the race. Speaking of returns, though, Dave Arney back out on track, P14. Great to see the 700 back out there. Pure wax power. I mean, maybe he will. Maybe he will. Needs to buff out some of his rough edges, though, if he wants to get back to winning ways, I think. There's a nice little waxing pun for you. Hope you enjoyed that one. Toddy Martin back out there as well. Hasn't seen him this season yet. Good to have him back out on track. I don't think we've seen him this season. I might be wrong. He wasn't in my list when I put it in the other week. Yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that one. But no, honestly, I mean, Toddy is a great driver. Again, he just needs to try and avoid some incidents sometimes. And it was unlucky that he got involved in that incident early on. Could have had some great pace and really could have been battling for the win right now. But it's a short race and you just got to try and stay as clean as possible out there. Well, we know he's a driver who can win because he's won before and he's won a championship before, so we know he can get it done. Some impressive performances so far. Jason Dunn up 11 positions as Giussi and Dibattito come into the pits. Any cars behind them following? No, Sheppo stays out. Gallen, who's up 12, will now go up another one to 14. Lon McKee's about to go up 2 more to 15. And Sipple's just clicked over to 10 positions gained, as well as Arnie, in a bit up the road from him as well, has done that. But this is now pit stop period time. 14 out of 41. We'll watch the majority of the field come through the lane in the coming laps just to get that first pit stop done and dusted. You know, they probably would have been hoping for an early safety car. We haven't seen one just yet. Will we even see one here tonight? Let me know in the chat if you think we'll see a safety car or not. We're looking pretty good so far. We're looking pretty good for no safety car. There's been no real, you know what I'm saying, short race aim. It felt like forever, especially when I hit the brakes, pinched and over my back. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying early on. You know, it's a short distance of a race. It's a short time, but this track makes it feel like forever. I don't know what it is. I think it's because of the lack of time that you can actually kind of rest. Like, you really only get the back straight and the front straight. As the leader comes in, Matty Parker through the lane, Buckland going to go for an extra point and lead a lap. Let's go with him here, actually, as he leads a lap. Go on board with him, because why not? His name up on screen, and let's stick with him here for a lap as we just talk this through. It feels like a longer lap than it actually is. I mean, it's only a minute and a half for a lap, but it just feels like forever. Christopher James, great to have you in here. Great to have you watching. We might have wanted to at Charlotte the next week. Yeah, I think we probably will, especially watching some of the things about that chicane curb. As a heap of the cars are coming to the pits now. Sheriffs, Parker, Fox, Vermey, Munro, Fisher, Arnie, Martin, Cullen, McKee, Dunn, all into the lane. Get ready to do their pit stop here tonight. But yeah, it's I don't know, something about this circuit that makes the lap feel longer than usual. As Matty Scholes, just quickly here, has come out not too far behind Matty Parker. So he's actually jumped up quite a few spots thanks to that early stop. But where is Buckland going to come out when he comes in? That is the question that we must ask. Who's got all sorts of problems with Mark pointing him behind him, trying to point him in the right direction, pun intended on that one. But where will these guys come out in comparison? So Skull's first stop was at 18.9. Parker's was at 20.3 as they both come into the lane. So both of these boys in. Will Houghton follow, or will he stay out to lead a lap? No, he comes in as well. Greg, he also comes in. Sheppo, will he come in? He will indeed. What about Gallon? He also trundles into the lane. Richard Barella also does. Troy Sipple's going to stay out for an extra point to lead a lap. But the important question is Buckland and Poynton. Where are these guys going to end up? Poynton stops into the box. Oh, we are up to 2 foreigners. It's great to see. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, and the bell so you're notified anytime we go live. Weston also stays out. Where is Parker? Here he is, round the final corner. Is he going to stay in front, or will Poynton get out in time? Buckland's coming out. Will he jump him, or will he get past? No, he will not. Parker stays in the provisional lead of this race. What about Matty Scholes and Poynton? Poynton manages to stay provisional P3. Scholes going to have to work on cutting that gap down. Scholes and Buckland had an 18.8 and an 18.9 respectively for their pit stop time. Parker and Poynton, 20.32 for Parker, 20.91 for Poynton. So these are uber close times for some pit stops, and uber close in terms of keeping that as close as possible. So, but a lot of different strategies at play here tonight, and that's kind of the big passing opportunity at this track, is having the strategy absolutely perfected. You can make up so many spots by getting that strategy right and getting that pit stop done and dusted as quickly as possible, and that's what you want. Now, sitting in the traffic, they may be using slightly less fuel. I mean, we didn't even need a full fill to get home. It was only about 73 to 76 litres, depending on your burn, and that's between 2.6 or 2.9 or 3.0 litre per lap. So it's really tight on what you're going to need to get home. As the top of the field come in, Sipple, Healy and Taylor. Weston stays out to lead a lap. He wants the extra point. I mean, why not? You're up the front. You might as well go for that extra point. But Parker is still provisional P1. Remember, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Any engagement we get into the chat, get into the comments after the stream as well. If you're watching after it's been live, any engagement we get is going to help us with the... I'm trying to think what the word is now. I saw it the other day on a podcast as well. Going to help us with the analytics, going to help us with the algorithm. It's going to help us get more eyes on the series and hopefully take this to bigger and, if not better, places. No safety cars so far. Split 2 doing really well, John. It's really good to see. I think this break did a lot for everyone. No safety cars yet. Great to have Reese Degoe in the chat. Great to have you here. Yeah, it's good to see no safety cars so far. I'm excited for that. There's no safety cars. Although I like 1 or 2 safety cars sometimes, but as long as it doesn't harm the majority of the field. But yeah, it's good to see no safety cars. Parker, provisional leader at the moment. Scotty Weston officially leads this race, although he's about to come into the pits. So let's sit now with Matty for a lap of the circuit and see how the leader does things. Oh, there's been contact in behind though, just quickly. What has happened here? Sheppo's had a big incident. Oh, and I can't even look at it. You know what? This is going to look really bad, but we're going back. We got to see what's happened here. Oh, was that contact between teammates? So we'll come through here, 3 wide into 6. Oh, and there's contact between Munro and Shepherd. Fox has been caught up in that as well. I tell you what, if William wants to have contact with his teammates, he needs to go race for player 1. I have to, Stephen. I have to rub it in. I have to. William Kohler net code. I don't know. That was an interesting one for sure. I'm gonna we're too far ahead for me to rewind again. I can't rewind again. No. No, if I had the event recording, I could have just clicked on it all the time, but I'm not rewinding again. We'll leave that up to the Spud race stewards in the chat to decide. The regular race stewards already gave their opinion. no dent in Shepard. Well, no, just because there's no dent does not mean there wasn't contact. Shepard, they're just trying to come back. Fox just in behind him here. He's got Sipple just ahead. Trying to stay with him as we come on to the back straight. Dirty after that one. He's got the run out the corner. How do we go on the run down towards 5? Alongside, it's too wide into the braking zone. Who's going to get it? Down the inside we go. They're too wide still. Sipple not going to give this up anytime soon. Oh, Sipple down the inside. He locks up, and it's 2 laps in a row that Sheppo's been hit there. 2 laps in a row. Almost identical incidents. And there's been another crash out at turn 6. Unfortunate for Sheppo, not what you want to see. There is a dent in that door, thank you very much. Regardless, we'll head back up to the leader, Matty Parker. It's been a relatively clean race so far, and then we get to the halfway point and it's starting to go off a little bit. It was already one there. Don't act like it was caused just then. You know it was already there. No one ever said that, Stephen. Everyone's opinion counts in some way, unless they're wrong. Shane Randall up 10 spots so far into P5. John Gallen, biggest move of this race. He's up 17 positions so far in this race. Lorne McKee up 16. Weston and Cullen both up 12. Healy up 10. Fair enough, Chris. Whatever floats your boat. I guess whatever floats your dad's boat, I should say. Lap 20 of 41. As we come on through. Great to have you in here as well. Hopefully we catch you again, Chris. He is coming up onto the back of, I believe, Mike Yeo and Robert Crow. Although, no, he's actually not quite there yet, but these are the next guys I believe to be lapped. Possibly, no, I'm just wrong at this point. Shane doing very well. Doing very, very well here. His first stop, lap 11, 19.27 was the pit stop time. Still a bit of a comparison here with the rest of the field, so not the fastest pit stop in the top 10, but not the slowest either, kind of the midpoint. Just doing very well. He's got Goosey in behind him. He's actually got 3 Chubby Buns cars coming for him. Almost like a triple cheeseburger, this one here. The 3 patties trying to get in and have a crack. He's got Skulls just up the road from him in P4. It's going to be up to him now if he wants to try and bridge this gap, build the gap in behind, and not become the pickle in the sandwich, as they would say, with those old mate and sons cars coming on through. Big thank you as well goes out to our series sponsors, of course, Racecraft Simulations, Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, West End Motor Group, Nova Sim Sports, Player One Sim Gear. Thank you all for supporting the series. Thank you to all of our viewers, our subscribers. Thank you to everyone as well for being here tonight in the return to the series for Split 2. All right, oh, pickle in the buns, yeah. Oh, it is all down to Randy's spotter. Stephen, of course, he's called it out in the chat. Great to have Shane in the chat as well. But yeah, Stephen, you know, it's been spotting for Shane and for Robbie. Unfortunately, Robbie back in the field at the moment. But Shane's still doing pretty well. Back straight. There he is. Doing my John Bow impression to keep Goosey behind. Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well to hold up those chubby buns there. I'm pretty sure they'd be looking pretty chubby in that mirror. For sure. Oh yeah, that is a chubby run behind. A very chubby run. See, they're filling up the rear of that car. Trying to do his best. Look at the front of it though. See how he runs around 10 and 11. So far, Sheriffs has now lost out as he's gone into the pits. Now he's not with his teammate though, Darren Goose, who's now behind Shane Randall. You can see how they tackle a lap here of this circuit. Sheriffs will come back at the end of this lap, turn the noise up, enjoy this one on board with Darren Goose and his old-mate Sons. Great to see that little battle starting to form between those guys. Goosey putting the pressure on Randall there. It was good to see the former Split 1 driver still having a crack here out of Split 2. We will periodically cut to the cars for a lap throughout the rest of this season. But Goosey doing a good job so far. Grekin behind him here, his teammate. He has a front row seat to this little battle right now. Houghton a little bit too far behind to be really putting the pressure on them. Gallen a little bit further back than him. He's doing pretty well so far. Then it's Dibatito. He's making up the back end of the top 10. He's got Verme, Arnie, and McKee just in behind him. Weston comes on through with Cullen in behind him. And then Troy Sipple, a little bit road from those boys. He's got Toddy Martin, his teammate. Healy, Barella, Fisher in behind. And there's Munro. We saw him involved in the contact with his teammate earlier. Then he's got his other teammate, Robert Crone, behind him. Mike Yo behind them. Then Matty McMillan, Wayne Shepherd in behind. Further back, we got Brady Taylor and Corbett in behind him. He's starting to put the pressure on. Jason Dunn just comes on round as well. It's good to see these boys having a crack. Toddy Duggan, he's trying to get back up through the field. Daniel Sheriff's in behind him. Sheriff's has now done his second pit stop, so he's now out of sync. Marty Hansen in behind him as well. Latham has technically had 2 pit stops as well. He's a bit further back, as well as Ed Fox. That's why he's out of position at the moment. But he's still in behind Mark Poynton. Our current top 4 of this race, Matty Parker P1, Buckland P2, Poynton P3. And Matty Scholes makes up the top 4. Shane Randall trying to chase down Scholes as best he can. Trying to get closer and closer to that podium position. Houghton, Arnie, Sipple, Fisher all into the pits for their second compulsory pit stop here tonight. When I was saying he copped a drive-through for the net code. I mean, it was up to race control on the night to give out a penalty if they wanted to, and they saw it was fit to give one out. Just have to hope to look forward and continue on into the next race. Doing pretty well, though, still. P17 does need a pit again. Though, for a second compulsory stop. So it'll be interesting to see where you actually file out into the field and if you'll be around anyone. Scotty Barton is officially out of this race as well. He's been out since lap 5, so that first pit stop he came in. He's not actually come back out on track, so he is now out of this one. Matty Stalls, unfortunately for him, he is a couple of laps down as well, so I think he may have actually disconnected and then come back. into the race. P1 has a very good gap at the moment, 4.2 seconds back to pointing in P2, who has now finally gotten past Gary Buckland here, and they've got Ed Fox out of sync in behind them. A minute and a half down on them. I believe that was due to him being involved in the incident earlier between himself and those two Infinity cars. But these guys still battling it out hard right now, and they are still fighting for this P2, P1 just up the road. And as I mentioned, they got Skulls just not too far behind them, and then Randall not too far behind him, still involved in this battle with Goosey and Grek in behind him here. As we come through 5. This is one of our tightest battles on track at the moment. So, John, I believe iRacing Black Flags, you have to serve every within 3 laps. Steven saying, after seeing some of the clips posted in Discord, the next race is going to be a crash fest. Yeah, and I kind of thought that leading up to this race, this next race as well out at Charlotte. I'll have to wait and see if anything cleans up before we actually get to race day on Thursday. But yeah, it could be a bit of a wild one. It'd be very interesting for sure. It'd be very enjoyable as a viewer, 100%. So it'd be really, really good to see. Also, the podcast will be returning next Saturday as well. I know it's the day of the Raw Before the 24. I'll be doing the Raw Before the 24. And then we'll be doing the podcast as well after I complete that one. So more information will be out on time that it does start. It'll be all posted in the Discord. Of course, if you have got the bell icon and subscribe to this channel, you'll be notified when it's going to be going live as well. So you can come and join us for the podcast, have a chat, get into the chat, and I'm trying to line up an interview for next week as well. So, but that's all the secret on who that is going to be. But still with this battle though, Randall, Goosey, and Gretsch. This is the battle for 5th so far. Skulls, Buckland pointing just up the road from him. Look at Goosey though, wants it done down the inside. Not quite close enough to get it under brakes. I have to try and maximize the run through this little roller coaster section of 6, 7, and up to 8. They look pretty neat and tidy so far. Race control black flag is technically the same, John. So the way they give it out is they give it out as an iRacing black flag. You still have to serve it within 3 laps. So any black flag you receive, because it's done through the iRacing black flag system, is always within 3 laps. No worries. But yeah, it is best just to get it out of the way as soon as possible. Then you can just crack on, not have to worry about it. Sometimes it can also be a benefit because you can actually get out of the way of someone when you actually come in for the black flag, and that person may cause an incident or they may be involved in an incident. So it can actually play to your benefit sometimes, no matter how much of a detriment it is. But just got to kind of keep it clean as possible. Daniel Sheriffs has gone off the track, and it seems that his advantage from his early second pit stop is withering away. See heavy damage on the front passenger side of that car. Front left is hanging out massively. He's got Robbie Crow in behind him. And the tyres are just starting to go off now for some of these drivers. Weston, Healy, and Taylor have all come into the pits. Houghton has already been in. He's putting massive pressure on Munro right now. Houghton is realistically provisional P6 at the moment. Could even be P7 or P8. Depending on how fast those other guys' pit stop is. This is what we want to keep an eye on, because this will actually have benefits for that battle that we saw before with Randall, Goosey, and Grek. So he's at a quick stop. Realistically speaking, 10.34 seconds wasn't very... Nah, Chris. Someone message one of the admins, please, and get them to come and watch the broadcast for me. Houghton, though, doing very well. Skulls, Randall, Goosey, Grek, all into the pits. So this is now, it's going to be up to Houghton to try and get it through here. He has to try and get past Munro. Munro, though, stays out on track. So Munro's still out there just ahead of Houghton. He's going to get past some of these boys. Greg has lost out to him, so is Goosey. Where's Randall come out? Randall stays ahead of him. So Houghton not quite... Oh, Munro was able to hold him off. That's allowed Randall just to break away from him here off the exit of the pits. Done very, very well to do that. Randall doing the business right now. Poynton and Buckland are into the pits. A very good job from them so far. Matty Parker has stayed out. He officially has led the most laps of this race, so he will get the extra point for leading the most laps here tonight. So Poynton in, so's Buckland. What about Dipatito? He stays out. So we're now with the leader of this race, Matty Parker. Let's go on board with him. We'll sit with him here for a lap. Or is he going to come into the pits this time by? We'll have to wait and see. But we'll head inside the car with him here. We'll turn the noise up. We'll stay with him for a moment. Parker doing the business right now. Thank you very much. Anyway, did that. Thanks for coming in here, Wayne. Great to have you here, mate. Appreciate it. It's a cracking helmet design. It's so good. Thanks for that, William. Appreciate it, Matt, mate. Mark's saying, yep, will help me up enough to let you and Matt through. Nice work, Shane. I mean, there's been some great battles on track so far, and well, Matty Parker leading from the front at the moment. Just doing the business right now. And I expect him to come into the pits fairly soon. Shouldn't be too far away. I would say Dipatito P2, Verme P3, Gallon P4, Poynton P5. Although he is provisional P2. And look at the gap that he's got on Buckland. He had a 2.2 second faster pit stop. That's given him a fantastic run right now. Gallon, you are P4, although you do need a pit again. Matty Parker has now come in, so leader of the race is into the pits. Shane saying it can be a risk pitting and being in traffic. That's right. That's right. It can be. That's one of the risks you play. Parker in. See his teammate Toddy Duggan coming out of the lane as well. Verme, does he come in? No, he doesn't. Dipatito stays out. He wants to get the extra point for leading a lap. Verme also stays out. Parker is still in the box. He just dropped 16.25 seconds. Where's Poynton in comparison? Not quite close enough. So Parker remains in the provisional lead of this race. But Poynton is now right behind him, and he is ready to attack. He's going to be putting all sorts of pressure all over Matty right now. This could be a fight for the ages to the end of this race. Verme, Dipatito, these guys are not in it. They need a pit. It's Parker, Poynton, Buckland. That is the provisional top three here tonight. See Pointing now, just trying to keep that pressure on him as best as possible. On board now with Parker. Just realised I left my driver details on, but I didn't need to. Pointing pushing super, super hard. I've mentioned throughout this whole season so far, he's one of my favourite drivers to watch out there from an unbiased view. Just because he's got something about him. Some sort of flavour about his driving style that I just enjoy watching. He is super competitive and he's got some great pace. Matty Stone Cold Parker. Oh, the temptation to do my Stone Cold impression is super high right now. I will say that right now. Mez will appreciate that if he's watching, if he does watch this. Yeah, and I mean, that's right. You know, every right to defend the position. These just sorts of things happen. Sometimes you end up behind someone that you don't want to be behind, or sometimes you end up ahead of someone that you wanted to be ahead of. So, you know, these sorts of things happen, but he's still in a fighting chance right now. Currently in a battle with Goosey. Oh, a little bit of a lock-up, though, through one. That might let Goosey through. Going to be tough. Oh, just stays in it. Tell you what, another nice little tasty battle is happening a little bit further behind them. We'll have a look at that in just a moment here to see if anything happens between these guys. They're looking pretty neat and tidy so far. It's a good little battle at the moment. Munro and Healy. These guys are just trying to stay nice and tight together. Munro trying to come back after an incident and a penalty from that incident. Healy's just trying to stay in it at the moment. Latham just up the road from them. Racing super hard right now, and it's good to see. Good to see some fast, hard action from these drivers. Dibatito comes into the lane. So Parker now retakes his lead of this race. Just so many battles on track that are happening all over the place. Oh, Munro pokes the nose. Not quite close enough, though. I'll see how this one goes later on, I think. I think we'll have to come back to this one, but back up here now, Houghton and Goosey. These guys battling hard. P7 at the moment. Dibatito is still in. So he now loses another spot. This is now the battle for P6. Randall a little bit too far up the road from them. John Gallen saying safety car, where are you? Yeah, I know. It's not looking very likely that we're going to be seeing a safety car here tonight. There's only a couple of laps left before the safety car cutoff. So not long to go at all. How's this though? Parker and Poynton still battling it out hard. Not giving a single inch between them. And we can see in the background there was a massive train. This is this group here that was in behind them then on the camera. They're fighting it out hard. This is all the way from, I believe, Toddy Martin. I think all the way back to Matty McMillan. No, there's a couple of drivers out of sync in there. Then we got Peter Latham in behind. And the battle that we were looking at earlier, Healy and Munro. Is there a run for them down to turn number 5? Or Healy defends. Munro's going to go for it down the inside. Can he get it done? Under brakes. Shoots it up. And you got to give credit where credit's due. That's a good move. It was also good, though, from Healy to give him heaps of racing room. It takes 2 to tango, and these two just won Dancing with the Stars with that sort of overtake. Great racing, great to see. It's a nice, clean battle on hand on track. He had a special request that I show that one after he had his incident. It must be the... Oh, I forgot to mention, it must be... Well, Shade, it's either the crash was caused by the SVG pedals or the overtake was caused by them. Both of them cannot happen. So it's caused one of them. It's whether it's caused the Racecraft to be able to get that move done or the lack of Racecraft to not get the earlier move done. That's the question you got to ask yourself. Latham struggling just a little bit here. He's down quite a few spots. Same with Crow and Sheriff's just up the road. But this battle's still on. But Look at this though. Houghton and Goosey, these guys, they are super, super close together right now. Apparently it was Shane. Apparently it was netcode. Off the back now of Houghton's car. Let's look at the Commodore's special camera out the boot lid. Or was it just Healy letting him pass? Maybe. I mean, as I said, it takes two to tango. And, you know, Healy did well there. Just he knew the move was going to happen, and he just let it happen and fight for another day. You know, smart racing, respectful racing as well, which is good to see. What we really want to see. We want to see it more often. 100%. Houghton, though, just battling it out hard with Goosey. We're one lap away from the cutoff for safety cars, so it is not looking likely that we are going to see one here tonight. Although Matty Scholes has just started to get reeled in here by Shane Randall, so this battle for P4 could still be on. This is looking more likely that it's going to be Scholes' first race off the podium this season. So many hard and fast battles happening on track. It's a shame I can't watch them all. Oh, I'm missing the battle in behind though. They're swapping and changing positions right now as we come through 6. Goosey just lets Houghton have the room. A smart move not to push too hard for it. I feel like we kind of have to stay with this battle. These guys are going hard right now. And it's only for P6. But they know that those 2 extra points could make or break their season later on when it comes to championship positions. This is a phenomenal battle. As Parker has now crossed the line to start lap 36. So we are guaranteed no safety cars, 2 races in a row in Split 2 this season. And this is what we want to see. Steven's saying Goosey seems to be a very clean driver. He puts pressure on but doesn't have the, in quotes, red mist. Yeah, and that's what we've seen in the past by Goosey when he's been in Split 2. I mean, I didn't really see a whole lot of his racing in Split 1, but he's always been that driver that's kind of Mr. Consistent, doesn't really get heated in his battles and just continues to apply pressure. Not about the points, about the position. That's true, but I mean, the position does also count for your points as well. So you know, you need to have the points to be able to get into a better position in the championship. So, but it's better not to risk the position you're in and to risk all the points that you have for 2 extra points, if you know what I mean. So he's very calculated, and it's great to see. And that's the reason why he's finished in the top 3 previously, and he's been up to Split 1, because he has that calculated about him, and that calculated prowess, and he's able to put that applied pressure. You know, he's a little bit like an osteopath in the car. You know, he's putting applied pressure, but in all the right places. You know, so he's not making mistakes of putting it, you know, on the shoulder blade when it should be on the spine or whatever. You know, he's being nice and calculated and trying to keep that pressure on. It's the team manager's job to worry about the points. Well, apparently. Oh, no, but he's gone as I've looked away from the screen just for a moment. Utter shock and disbelief. I look away for a moment and it happens and he's gone. What a shame. Still in the top 10. But what a shame that that battle has just gone on there. A little bit of commentator's curse possibly. Simon Hayes saying not worrying about your points too much, Will. Apparently not. John Gunn saying it's unfortunate. Yeah, it is. That was unfortunate, really. Yeah, Matty Parker realistically should be a Split 1 driver. But you could say the same about Poynton. You could say the same about Scholes. You know, these guys are still of pace and they're still battling at pace with him. If he wins this, it's his first win in Split 2 this season. 3 different winners if he does pull this off. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if it can happen. He's really in that Split 1.5. He really is. But Parker, I mean, he is just a level above here tonight, as others have been. And, well, he's looking to just bring this thing home. 3.5 laps to go here tonight. And it's been an exceptional performance. Pointing 1.6 seconds back. He could get this, back again. Yeah, but, I think Lanyon in split 3, again, Lanyon's one of the drivers who's split 2.5. You get the drivers who've got, lap pace, but they may not have racecraft, fully all the time. And that's why they're kind of in the middle ground. Matty's done very well to stay up in front, but he's good through the pack. And we've seen drivers in the past struggle to get through the pack, even though they've got pace. They struggle to get through the pack because they push too hard and they make mistakes. So, we've seen it time and time again from certain drivers, or just any other driver as well. But I think, Lanyon, should he be in split 2? Quite possibly. But I think a lot of the drivers in split 2 have got, it's kind of on 2 levels, 2 bell curves. There's the lap times and there's also the racecraft. Someone's lap times might be on the level of top of split 2, bottom of split 1, but their racecraft might not be there. So that might be why they're actually better off in a lower split, or maybe that's why they're plateauing in the middle. It is good to have faster people in the splits. That's exactly right. Makes everyone work harder, and naturally the speed will progress. If you have a faster person in a split, it's going to help the rest of the split get faster because they're going to be pushing to get onto that person's level, and that person's going to be on hand for them to watch. Dave Bordock saying John Venery should be split 1. He's sandbagging. Maybe he sandbagged to stay in split 3, Dave. There was rumours that that he had put you in the boot of his car in the last round of last season so he could sandbag his way to stay into split 3. But I mean, maybe it'd be good for him to be in split 2 and have him do the split 3 broadcast as well. Pro split. Maybe he needs to go into pro split. Who knows? Lap 39 out of 41. We're coming closer and closer to the end of this race. We're about to start lap number 40. So it's crunch time for anyone who wants to make up any positions. Randall right up behind Skulls now, P5 and P4 respectively. They're just trying to keep that battle on hand. They're just trying to stick together here. Both these boys got some great pace. Skulls has been fantastic this season. True Hamish, the guys in front are good to watch, and the battle behind is awesome. Yeah, and it's so hard. You can get so many good battles. As someone's just had an incident, I think it might be Damon Fisher. It is. He's off the track just before turn 6, and that's the front of his car all dinged up. Unfortunate for him. We have to continue on. Yeah. It's good to watch up the front, but there's also so many battles that happen throughout the field that we can't see all of the time. So it makes it good to have the cheat sheet sometimes. Unfortunately, I haven't had it tonight. So I've kind of just been searching for things that have happened. But that's why it's good to have the cheat sheet sometimes for incidents that happen, because actually the lead up to those incidents can actually be some good battles. And we can also fill the time in with some good battles. This track's good because it's nice and short. It still keeps the field condensed. So we still get some good battles happening. I mean, quite possibly. Maybe that happened, Shane. But yeah, so there's always some good battles happening out the field, and I try and show off as many people as I can as we get ready here to start the final lap here tonight. It's gone by super quick. It's so hard, though. It's so hard to watch everything happen on track, and I try to give everyone a bit of on-screen time as best I can. It's harder in these shorter races to do that, but, it also means that we have got good battles happening on track. It's hard to pick which one to watch, and then you pick one and the other one might have something happen that you miss. As Mike Yo's also now gone off track. That's the same spot as Damon Fisher, so these tyres are starting to go. But we're going to stick here with Matty Parker leading the way right now. I'll have to wait and see here Pointon not quite close enough to put any pressure on him at the major overtaking points. So you come through turn 6 and 7. Nice and tidy is Parker. And you know what? And you've always got a bit of a pace discrepancy between the very top of the field and the rest of the field. You're always going to have guys who you say, oh, they should be in split 1. Well, realistically, there were people who were faster than him or who were a little bit more consistent than him, and maybe this is the right spot for him. At this point in time, maybe he's just going to go back up to split 1 next season. So it's a bit hard to tell. But Parker round the second to last corner after a dominant performance. He'll take home full points here tonight. Led a lap, led most laps, and wins out at Okayama. Pointon in second. Can Buckland come home P3? He can. He's got enough gap over Skulls. And that right there is a peanut buttercup P3 for Gary Buckland. Parker, Pointon, and Buckland are your top 3. Skulls just gets home P4. Randall with an impressive P5. Houghton, around the final corner, will finish P6. Grech, oh, has he run out of fuel? Dibatito's crossed the line ahead of him here, P7. I reckon Grech's ran out of fuel. He's lost the spot. Goosey stayed behind him. Arnie's finished 10th. Surely that thing's out of fuel. Let's listen. Oh, yeah, that's out of fuel. For sure. Well, well, well. What an abrupt end that was. But Parker wins it here tonight. What a race it was out at Okayama. Parker, our race winner. We'll see if we get any of our podium finishers into the green room. Remember, if you can't join the green room, join the race control waiting room, as that is the easiest place that I can drag you up from. We'll run through our results here tonight for this race out at Okayama. So we'll get that out of the way. Oh, no, I don't want that. We want this. Sorry. I do apologise. That's all good. That's all good, mate. No worries. No worries. Congratulations on your P3. Appreciate you being in here as well. Matty Parker will take home P1 for Nova Sim Sports here tonight, just ahead of Mark Pointon at a P2. Gary Buckland will then finish out a P3 here tonight, ahead of Matthew Scholes in P4 for 801 Sim Racing. Shane Randall will make up the top 5 for Simrings Infinity Motorsport after an impressive run, just ahead of Mark Houghton for Accelerate Sim Racing at a P6. Jason Dibatito will then finish out a P7 here tonight for Hypersonic Racing, just getting past Stephen Grech right on the line for P8. Unfortunately, it appears has run out of fuel. Darren Goosey will finish P9 here tonight, ahead of the returning Dave Arney at a P10, with Peter Vermey just in behind them for P11. John Gallen will then finish out a P12, just ahead of Lorne McKee in P13. Oh, I do apologise, with Sean Cullen coming home out of P14 just in behind. Scotty Weston will then make up the top 15 for EWR GMK Logistics, just ahead of Richard Barella out of P16. Tony Martin will then come home out of P17 for Quantum Peaks Performance Racing, just ahead of Matty McMillan out of P18 here tonight. P19 will then go to Peter Latham, who'll finish just ahead of Will Munro. That was a good recovery from him after some early dramas. Troy Sipple will then finish out of P21, just ahead of Craig Healy out of P22, with Wayne Shepherd coming home out of P23 for Simrig's Infinity Motorsport. Ed Fox will then come home out of P24, just ahead of Damon Fisher out of P25, with Brett Taylor coming home in P26 for Virtual Motorsport Mentor Esports. Robert Crow will then finish in P27, just ahead of Hypersonic Racing's Glenn Corbett at a P28, with P29 going to Marty Hansen here tonight. Todd Duggan will then make up the top 30, just ahead of Jason Dunn in P31. Michael Yo, Daniel Sheriffs, Matty Stoyles will be our final finishers who got to the 75% mark. Scotty Barton, of course, did not get far enough into the race here tonight to get any points. We have got Mark Point, we have got Matty Parker. We'll drag them in just a moment. We'll quickly just bring up our way of doing things just for a second here. We will quickly do this. And we will go on board with Mark. There we go. So we'll drag them both in. Mark Poynton, Matty Parker, great to have you both in here tonight. Mark, we'll start with you, finishing P2 here tonight. You've got a 100% podium finish rate this season. You're leading this championship. You're doing all you need to do right now to become one of the very few privateers to win this Split 2 championship.
Yeah, thanks, Hamish. Yeah, it's been a really good start to the season. I learnt a lot last season, and just trying to put it all into practice. It's working out pretty well so far.
Oh, mate, I mean, you know, you had the pace the first 2 weeks. You obviously got the win out on the first round. You're trying to break that crux that I mentioned of first round winner does not win the championship. You're doing all you need to do right now to really put your name on that trophy before we get to the end of the season. Although you've still got massive pressure from both Matties in behind you, Stoyles and Parker. I mean, firstly, how do you feel going into this next week out at Charlotte? And then kind of what's your mindset going forward for the rest of the season, knowing that you're kind of in this position?
Going into Charlotte is to, really stay out of trouble and just set consistent laps. It has the ability to really change the game if you get caught up in trouble. So hopefully get out in the top 5 or so, stay out of trouble, and try and get as many points as possible. Finish on the podium would be a good result. But as far as the 2 mats go, some big pressure from those 2, and even Gary drove a really good race. This race, it was it's good to see. It's a little bit different this season being up the front, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, mate, I think you showed glimpses last season of really having that rise up to the top. And then now it's almost like you've over-poured the beer and there's a little bit of foam just coming out the top. You've kind of just risen it quite quickly, and now you're there, and now you're really putting the pressure on. I guess you've had some good performances so far. Are you feeling comfortable for Charlotte this week? I mean, obviously, staying clean is the name of the game, because I can already imagine the incident that could happen out at turn 1 across that very tight section of track at the pit exit. Is it more or less just try and stay as clean as possible, try and get those lap times as consistent as possible, or just try and put the car on pole and hope you can break away nice and early?
Oh, look, option 2 sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Option 1 will be definitely, look, I mean, in an ideal world, put it on pole and off we go. But, in reality, probably, stay out of trouble, try not to get caught up in incidences, and just get your head down, put consistent lap times in.
Very good, mate. Well, you've had a fantastic run so far this season. You had a fantastic run out there at Okayama. Best of luck this week. Let us know who's given you the support out there, and anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well.
Oh, look, mate, just the league, the effort that everybody goes to behind the scenes. Obviously, yourself for the broadcast and the podcast as well. And on a personal note, just obviously Maxis. Just want to say too, like, Matty Parker drove an amazing race. There was, as we came out, last pits came out, we were pretty close, but I had like 2 laps and he was gapping me quite comfortably. So congratulations to him. He well deserved.
Well, mate, I mean, sort of just my last question for you here, being that you are pretty much the best privateer that's in this split, you must be a pretty hot piece of real estate right now. Have you had many team offers, or are you kind of just head down and not really worrying about that at the moment?
I've had a couple, just trying to get head down and stay focused and keep doing what I'm doing. It's working reasonably well, but just want to stay focused and keep trying to put in decent results. It's a long championship, and consistency definitely is going to pay off at the end.
100%, mate. Well, it's great to hear that some people are starting to pick up on how good you really are. You've had a great run so far. Best of luck for next week. Best of luck for the rest of the season. And thanks for coming over to chat to me here tonight.
No worries. Anytime. Cheers, Hamish.
Thanks, mate. Well, Matty, you went one better here
Hey, how are
tonight.
ya?
P2 last time out, P1 here tonight. This championship's just hotting up, and well, it looks like you're ready to put your name into that battle between the names that start with M. And it's like, well, actually, there's Matty Parker who can have a go at this as well. But it was a great run. You led the most laps, pretty much. I mean, I think you were provisional leader for the whole race. Not really much challenge out there for you, but I think you showed why you are who you are.
Yeah, no, it was a good race. I just ran consistent, and same as last week. I just still trying to set up my rig and everything still properly, and I just had a few issues with my screen alignments and stuff like that the other night, and actually found them out the other day. So hopefully it'll do a bit better for Charlotte this week. But yeah, no, it was good with the guys. They raced hard and they raced well, and I knew they were there, but yeah, I was just sort of keeping me marks and just getting off the corners properly, and yeah, I knew I'd have it if I just drove consistently, and away we went.
So you're saying that this may not even be the best version of Matty Parker that we've seen, being that the rig wasn't even properly set up before now.
Not so squeaky clean. Still a few issues and everything around it, but yeah, it's a lot better than what it was Thursday night. I must admit. But there's still a few things there that I'm still working on to try and get faster and get back into Split 1.
Well, I mean, speaking of Split 1, how are you feeling being back here in Split 2? Are you missing Split 1 a little bit, or are you enjoying the racing more down here in Split 2?
The racing's good here as much as I enjoy the good hard racing in Split 1. The racing has been good. The guys have been pretty respectful, and like I said last week, I haven't raced against a few of them, and I still sort of haven't raced against them. I just wanted to get a good start on Thursday night and just sort of take off as quick as I can. I knew it was a tight, close circuit, so a good start was sort of the aim.
So, mate, is it kind of a similar mindset now to what Mark said, where you'd prefer to try and get the car on pole and break away early, but you're kind of focusing more on a consistent race out at Charlotte because, well, by what we've seen so far throughout practice, it could be a bit of a wild one.
Oh, definitely qualifying. No, up the top end is definitely a priority, especially on the short, tight tracks and with the corners like Charlotte. Yeah, 100%. You want to be up top 5 at least. And my qualifying's a big sort of dent in my driving ability. So yeah, I generally just work on my race pace, and unfortunately, I keep driving like a go-kart, and I've just got to get that out of my mind and try and drive a car like a car. But some tracks suit it, some tracks don't, and yeah, this one's going to be a doozy for the chicanes and especially the first corner.
Well, mate, thanks for coming over to chat to me here tonight. Big congratulations on your win, first win this season. Another podium for yourself. Best of luck out at Charlotte. Let me know who's giving you boys the support out there. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well, mate. You've earned it being tonight's winner.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, I'd like to thanks our sponsors, Purewax, my team Nova, Sim Sports, you guys for doing the broadcast. It's a great broadcast, and outdoes a lot of the others. And just all the other boys for putting on the vets behind the scenes. It's becoming stronger and stronger each season, and it's becoming more fun.
Very good, mate. Well, that's what we love to hear.
Thanks a lot,
We love
guys.
to hear that it is fun, and thanks for coming over to chat to me. Best of luck this week and for the rest of the season.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. And well done to the other two guys too on the podium.
Very good, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Well, great to speak to both Mark Point and there, Matty Parker. Great to have Gary in the chat as well. You had a great race, mate, and great race to everyone else as well who had a crack out there tonight. And, well, what could we see come next time out at Charlotte? Well, it's all going to be answered come Thursday night when we go racing, and it's going to become answered on Thursday, Friday, and next Sunday when we go live with our broadcast as well. But this brings an end to our broadcast here tonight for Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Season 18. It's been the Logitech G Round 3 out at Okayama International Circuit. It's been a great race. Nice, short, sharp one for us to enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. There's some great battles out on track, some great moves, a little bit of carnage, which we expect in Split 2. And all in all, a great night of racing. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Season 18, Logitech G Round 3 out at Okayama International Circuit. I've been your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro. We'll see you next time for round number 4 out at Charlotte International Motor Speedway. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for getting into the chat. And thank you for subscribing if you have. Until next time, bye for now.